Please, Tarzan. Dear Jane.
Hey guys, welcome to the Legend of Tarzan 2016 movie review. Um, this movie is one of those movies where, like, from the commercial, from the previews, from the trailers, from the TV promos, the clips, it looks like it's just a movie that they're just that Hollywood's just churning out and they don't really care about it or whatever. But the truth is, when you actually watch this movie, it actually has a good storyline. It has like I can tell that the writers had passion making this movie because the dialogue, the plot lines, the plot details, there was very few plot holes in this. So for sure, I know that there was a lot of care in making this. Now, let's talk about CGI first. Unfortunately, a bunch of wild caribous or wild animals running down a hill and stuff, it just looks fake. And you know what, we still, like, I felt like maybe if they had found a way to actually go to Africa and rally up and kind of scare a group of animals and see them and like have them and film them running down a hill and then use that and multiply it and just make it like obviously still CGI, but at the same time they're using real animals. I think it would have looked a lot better. But this one you can tell the animals were CGI, so I kind of wasn't happy about that. You can tell, especially on the big screen, that they're on set, like they're on a green screen set. So I that's another thing that I didn't like about it, but as far as, like, you know what, they had passion in making this movie, so that's why I'm not as hard about it. I'm not as upset over it. What's great about this is you're thinking, based on the trailer, you're thinking that we're gonna spend more time with Tarzan, from the moment he is found out, and then spend more time, like, developing his character. But the truth is, we're only reintroduced to his origins just a tiny bit because there is a bad, aka, quote unquote, bad gorilla that is the cause of his parents' death. So they kind of want to use that and put it into the plot details as well. So that's the only reason why they had to start with the beginning of the movie or the beginning of his life. Other than that, it went by so fast. Like, you didn't really notice it. Next thing you know, he's already in London, acclimated, I guess that's a word, to society. He can speak English. He has manners, but he still has a few things that he can't get out of. Like, his sometimes his hands does this gorilla thing, which he learned. Obviously, it's a learned behavior. But other than that, he's still sort of proper. He still does funny things, like kind of like that guy who's from the country who goes to a big city, and doesn't know how to act. But other than that, he's Tarzan, played by not Stellan Skarsgård. Why would I say Stellan Skarsgård? It doesn't make sense. Um, okay, so here's my thought. Like, Alexander Skarsgård is a great Tarzan, but he doesn't work out his arms. Like, for a guy who's raised by gorillas, you would think that he spend arm days, like having, like, his biceps or whatever should be bigger and stronger. It's kind of lean. I mean, he has abs for days, but his arms are just the arms of someone who pushes carts all day. Yeah. Anywho, Margot Robbie, she cute. Not only is she cute, she's a great actress, and she really gives it her all in this movie. I'm sorry, but that girl can act. Like, she's really giving it her all. So I have no problem with her acting. I have no problem with her dialogues that she spits out. She's awesome. Here's the thing. So Tarzan gets called back to the Congos. He's okay. So he's going to the Congo to act as a medium not a medium as in a ghost psychic medium, but he's there to kind of not acclimate, but like mediate for the parliament, between the parliament and the mining encampment and the local African people. And so Tarzan is, at first he just sees this as a way, as a way to help his people in Africa and to help the British Parliament. However, there's actually some sinister stuff going on behind the scene. And once he finds out what's going on, they end up kidnapping Margot Robbie's Jane. Okay, they end up kidnapping Jane and using her as a way to get Tarzan to stop for Tarzan to stop the animals from destroying their mining encampment or whatever. Uh, there's a part in this movie that really kind of took me out of everything. So Tarzan has like 1,000 herds of animals crushed through the town, city, or whatever. Yet the truth is, like, no one, like, the bad guy was still not phased by that. He didn't want to just drop everything and just leave. He still wanted to test the people of Congo, the animals of Congo, and like just test Tarzan. That makes no sense. If that was me, I'd be scared. I would never want to come back. Like, I'd be like, all right, bye. I'm not coming back. Not with you controlling animals. Who do you think you are? Land Aquaman? Like, what? Oh, this guy cracks me up. But anywho, so yeah, so what's his name? Christoph Waltz, of course, because he has a funny accent. So he's playing a Belgian dude, and there's no problem with that. But like, he reminds me so much of every movie he's been playing so far for Quentin Tarantino. Like, it's so weird. What was his name though? He's Captain Leon Rom, I think that's what his name was, and that guy, I'm surprised he's not afraid of. I mean, okay, so he kidnaps Jane. You see this in the trailer, and Jane's like, "My husband's gonna come for me," and so. And Chris was like, let him come. Like, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's every bad guy wants to say some funny crap like that. Something iconic like that. Something funny like that. So, so Jane spits on him. I wonder if that's real spit. Sometimes I wonder about that. Like, do actors actually like say to each other, like, hey, if you're gonna spit on me in real life so that my face of disgust can truly shine, or is that like, do they cut it on purpose so that like it doesn't seem like, because it's kind of gross? I don't know. For me, I feel like a woman spitting on me isn't as bad as a man spitting on me. Like, I know this sounds crazy, but like, I don't know. Anyway, so Tarzan is like, oh, okay, I'm gonna rescue my wife, and so he finally rips off all of his English clothes. I'm like, okay, this is a sign that he's about to drop everything he learned from England, and he's about to go ham on these people. And you know what? He sure does. Like, he ripped all his shirt off, and honestly, if I was Jane, I'd be like, dang, why he rip all his clothes off? Oh my gosh, it cracked me up. Honestly, like, this movie is fun. You'll love it. It's not exactly the greatest, but like I said, what will take you out really is the CGI effects. It's kind of cheap looking at times, but the storyline is good. The dialogue is good. Nobody wants to see Tarzan in Victorian era London, okay? They want to see him in his natural habitat. So one of the best scenes, which they've showed all the best scenes on in the trailers. One of the best scenes is of him fighting against African tribes near like the water area, and with his gorilla family by his side. Another great scene was like when he actually killed the bad gorilla. That's who I'm gonna call him. Mbongo, maybe. I don't know his name, but like I'm surprised Tarzan even survived that long. Like that's just the weirdest thing. Like that gorilla was so mad at him for no reason. Like please leave the child alone. He's not like he's doing anything serious. Like, I mean, dang, and Tarzan loves the gorilla people. Speaking of gorilla, okay, this is so weird because is this some kind of like marketing idea? Just earlier, or like maybe a few days ago, a child fell into a gorilla cage, and the gorilla grabbed him and was like, like tossing him around. I'm like, who is that, Mbongo? But anywho, the zookeepers actually shot the gorilla, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then all now everyone's like all hyped up about it and is like protesting this whole, why'd you have to kill the gorilla? He was only protecting the child. And of course the gorilla people are like, are you kidding me? This is a wild animal and he's a caged animal. And the truth is, even if we shoot him with darts, he's just gonna freak out and just kill the child by accident or something. Like, but people are more concerned about this gorilla who's been euthanized than the child who almost was crushed by a 500-pound gorilla. Like, honestly, gorillas have the strength of crushing like green coconuts. And green coconuts, that means that they're super, super hard to like open because they have the extra layer of skin. They're not like the brown coconuts where you can drop it and it'll crack. They're like the hardcore shelled green ones. If gorillas can smash that with their hands, they can smash a child. So I can understand why they chose not to like tranquilize the gorilla, because it takes a while for tranquilizer to work, and even so the gorilla might accidentally fall on the child, so it's still, it's still a danger. So anyways, yeah, I just honestly, this movie is great. This movie is great in the sense where like the writers actually gave it more thought. It wasn't some cheap version. However, unfortunately, as a whole, this movie probably deserves 3 stars, maybe 4. If I'm really like, at first I thought it should be 3, but maybe it should be 4. I did enjoy watching the film, not in a way that I want to rewatch it, but just enjoyed it the moment. So maybe. Okay, so I'll give it a 4 stars. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and I guess hopefully you watch the movie and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's one of the best things you'll see as far as readaptation of the Tarzan novel. Thanks for listening. Bye.